first ever virtual conference to share advice and inspiration for small businesses of all kinds. Dell Technologies is here to help safeguard your business with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro to provide relevant content for your business's success. Search Dell Technologies Small Business Podference on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Odyssey.com starting May 10th. Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schleck. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me today, as always, on Monday, Michele Barra. Michele, what's up?
Well, we had quite a Dort week.
We did.
Yeah.
We really did. We were in the Dortress all season.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Well, but I mean, the Dortness over the last 3 games is kind of insane.
Yeah, his production has been outrageous in all the games that he's played in recently. The numbers are 29 points per game, 29 points against the Raptors, 26 against Detroit, and then 42 against Utah. And the best part about all of that is that it all comes in a loss, every single one of them.
Yeah, that helps as well. I mean, last time we talked, I think we're not in the worst 5 in terms of record. Now they are, and it's it's something that they still have a lot of work to do in order to maintain that position. But at least the Wizards seems to be now in the right trajectory. Toronto, that game really counted because it ties the tiebreaker and whatever. So I mean, yeah. It's
taking a look at Tankathon.com. If you are on the live stream, and if you're just listening to the podcast, you can join us on the live stream on YouTube. We usually try to alert you. And if you just subscribe and you hit that little bell, you'll know when we're live. So be sure you do that. Subscribe to our YouTube page. But if you're live on YouTube, you can see these Tankathon standings, the reverse standings in front of us. The Thunder currently hold the longest losing streak in the NBA at 10 games in a row. I never thought we would see that number in front of us, but here we are today. They sit 2 games back of 4 and 3 games back of 3. I think it will be really difficult to even pass Orlando. I'm not saying it's impossible because they have had some pretty surprising games here and there, but there's not that many games left. What do we have? 16 games left? I just don't know that you can hop Orlando in that span of time. Not impossible, because it's certainly, if the Thunder, and it seems like they're going to lose, they'll likely lose tonight unless something miraculous happens, because they're
Why do you have to say that?
Sitting Dort. I don't know. I really messed everything up there, didn't I? They're probably going to win tonight. They're going to end all of this tonight with a win in Washington. Second out of a back-to-back. But yeah, there's not a lot of time left to hop those guys. But if you just eke into the top 5, that's just way better than being 6, 7, or 8 at this point.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, there is someone on Twitter. I want to give him a shout out because he's doing amazing work, keeping track of game by game effect. I think it's Tyler Carroll. Carroll 12 is basically keeping track of the impact of every single game on the final position of OKC, and more important, the odds of a top 5 pick, 1 or more top 5 picks, which it seems that with Houston having the worst record, OKC is in the worst possible spot because it's the best place for Houston to keep the pick. But this is actually not the correct view on that. We said it many times, and I mean we have to think that this is also the best place for OKC to get 2 top 5 picks. So there's that, and I don't know about Orlando. They they can still win 2 more games than OKC. I don't know about the tiebreaker, but I think that is on the Orlando's favor. So I think they need to lose exactly 2 games more than Orlando in the next 15 games.
Yeah, certainly possible. I wouldn't count on that, though. I don't know that. I mean, to me, OKC is going to need to lose basically every game for the rest of the season to get there, which I just think it's improbable because they were going to. Whoops, I'm sharing my everything right now. It's improbable that they'll finish like that. I just don't think they will. They almost won last night in Toronto. There were just a few things that just went wrong. And really the last 4 minutes of the game, they couldn't score. They essentially didn't score the last 4 minutes of the game. They got a gimme bucket to Isaiah Roby for a dunk. And they had Lou Dort free throws. And that was it in the final 4 minutes of the game. And Mark Daigneault talked about it after the game that those last 4 minutes are just different. So the closing minutes of a game are way different than the first 45 minutes. And
especially when the game is on the line.
Especially when the game's on the line. And they struggled mightily.
Yeah.
And this is part of the design of what's supposed to happen the rest of the season. And not that they're just throwing guys out there and just hoping that they lose. It's that they are throwing guys out there and hoping that they'll learn is what the process is. And the losing is a part of it. When you throw young, inexperienced NBA players out there in crunch time minutes, they typically lose because they don't have experience for the moment.
Yeah,
which I think and that's what they're trying to do, especially with Lou. And I love the reps that Lou's getting right now because I think that it's preparing him not so that he can be like a featured role down the line, but it's preparing him for moments down the line. So he has those reps and he's not scared and he's not he'll be willing to take those shots. And I think he will be. I think he's already shown that in the last playoffs, but even this where he gets a chance to crit off the dribble some and make mistakes, I think it's good. I think to me it's only good for a guy like Lou.
Yeah, it's definitely good. And in order to be a functional offensive player, I think that, as you said, these reps are very important. And I mean, even as you and John mentioned last night in Thunder After Dark, the fact that he's doing this and he will learn through it. And at some point, if an injury happens, like he's going to be able to adapt in a quicker way. I mean, now that the Marcus Smart comparison is all over the internet and it's easy and I see everything. Marcus Smart was a guy that was able to lead a team in college, and whenever he was called upon in Boston, he was able to be the man, even if he's not going to do that every single night because, I mean, Boston decided to go in a different direction, which may or may not be a good thing. But I mean, Lou has shown a lot of stuff, and the fact that he's now able to take threes with the guy in his jersey, that to me is unbelievable. The fact that he's able to shake a guy and take a jumper from 20 feet, that to me is complete madness. The dribble, the stuff off the dribble, those were stuff that you could see in college, but not the shot off the dribble with the guy that is guarding you tightly. And I don't care if it's even a two-way guy on the other side of the court. It's still a guy that is right in front of you, hand in your face. That is something that Lou wasn't able to do last year. Period.
Well, just the fact that the defense pays attention to him at all is such a massive upgrade in the world of Lou against Dort. Like that's last season in the playoffs, Game 5. Go watch it. Even go watch Game 7. It was stay as far away from Lou Dort as possible, Rockets, and it will eventually work out for us. And they were right. They ended up being right. It almost cost them. It almost cost them the game, but they ended up being right. And I don't think you can do that anymore. I don't think that that's going to be a thing moving forward because it's his ability to attack off the drive that has changed things. And I know he's not shooting well at the rim, Alex, and I talked about that last week. And I actually asked Mark about that, and he gave a fantastic answer. This was on Friday. He's saying that he gathers the ball too early and that it's all about his footwork around the basket. He said that is all learned stuff. It's not natural stuff for him. It's all going to be learned, and it will come with time. And just those little details I thought were great. I thought it was a great explanation from Mark, who he could say, yeah, he'll get better. He needs to keep practicing. But I love the detailed answer, and Mark Daigneault's been really good at giving stuff like that to us this year.
Yeah, and also I want to stress this. An inefficient shot at the rim for Lou Dort is still from 10 to 15% better than a mid-range shot of a good mid-range shooter. Well, an average mid-range shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Like to shot 50% or more at the rim, I think he is 51%, something like that.
Yeah, 52 is what he was 52. At when we looked at it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like, remember when we said that Russell Westbrook was having a good season from the mid-range? That was 44, right. 43. Like, it's 10% better. Like, this is like to say that something is inefficient and it's still way more efficient than the average mid-range shot. Yeah, of course, you can always improve, but it's not a bad shot. It's a shot that generates 104 points per 100 possession, which is okay. Like, not great, but who cares? It's not that I want him to stop doing that, even if that is his percentage for his entire career. I'm still okay with that. He's not a super efficient player. Great. Mm-hmm. But the point to me, and we need to discuss this, like he is averaging 29 points per game or more in the last 3 games while playing insane defense. Because he takes a few possessions off here and there because he's tired, but like most of the possession, he is a beast.
Yep.
He's doing exactly what he was doing against Houston, against James Harden. Okay, talent is very different. I mean, it's easy to guard Malachi Flynn compared to James Harden, but still, he's there, like playing every single possessions on both ends of the court. That to me is crazy.
It's outrageous to be able to expend that kind of energy. And we've discussed this as well, that he's likely not going to have to be that guy, which is great because he's going to, I think he can be an all defensive team staple for a decade if he stays healthy. You know, I think that is right within his wheelhouse. Plus being able to be a good offensive player that contributes. It's not outrageous to say 15, 16 points per game.
Yeah, it's on the high side, but yes.
I mean, that's really something. And to get a guy like that just off the scrap heap, that is a 1 in a million chance, right? I mean, you just don't bring in undrafted players that do that. Another undrafted player from Montreal was our hero last night, Chris Boucher. I didn't know that he and Dort had a history, and Chris talked after the game about it, that they've known each other since they were like kids, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Lou, he was saying that like Lou is the future of Canadian basketball, like one of the futures of Canadian basketball. And he said, I think Chris Boucher also said that he was the future of the NBA, which is just hilarious to say. But then Lou was asked about Team Canada and if he'd want to play. And then Lou said something like, that he wanted to try out. And which is an outrageous statement. That's like saying like Jesus wants to try out for the Bible. Like of course, like you're there, man. Like you're in there. Like, you just say the word. Yeah. you just sign up and you're on the team, Lou.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just his, I guess that's maybe his like Canadianness showing through. Just like so nice, like so kind. I'll try. So hopefully I'll make it. Like, of course you're gonna make it, Lou. Like, stop that.
Yeah, I already said with John that if Corey Joseph makes the team and Lou Dort somehow doesn't, and it's not his own willingness to do that, like to sit out because he has other things to do, which is completely okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
Then we just have to organize a protest and do something crazy because that is impossible. That talent wise, he's not a starter on that team, not even on the team. I mean,
Yeah.
well, a starter, it's with Jamal Murray, it would have been difficult for him to be the starting shooting guard, but without, there's a decent chance that he's the guy, depending on what others want to do. But
yeah,
Team Canada is pretty solid.
Yeah, they got some guys.
Ken Birch,
another Canadian.
There's lots of Canadians.
Yeah, it was a great Canadian game last night. Not played in Canada, unfortunately, but it was entertaining. We had some Poku moments. Poku is the first NBA player since LeBron James. First, not NBA player, first rookie since LeBron James to have the 5+ points, 5+ boards, assists, and blocks, which is definitely a Poku thing. Like, Poku is going to be a stat sheet stuffer moving forward. He's going to be a guy that's going to contribute. He contributes like a guard on offense and then contributes like a big on defense. He's just such a wild and wacky player, and I hope he continues to get better because he's just pure entertainment. Yeah.
Can I go hot take here?
Always.
I think that Poku played one of his best games last night.
Okay.
Because I don't care about the shooting results as of now. I just don't care. I mean, I saw the shots, and there was none of the threes that they took that I would say, well, no, don't take that. And it happens. He's not there yet physically. His muscles are changing from day to day. He started from the second league in Greece, where you don't have professional trainers handling your body. So in year one, I'm completely fine with whatever percentage he has. The point is, A, he's getting the shots he wants all the time. B, the creation. I mean, he had 2 or 3 looks that were insane, flat out insane. To start the game, he was the engine of the offense. And that to me is crazy. I mean, the fact that the guy like that, against minor competition in terms of defense, that for sure, but he was able to create and those were such amazing looks, always trying to reverse the field. And I mean, to me, the vision was just insane. And for this reason only, I have a hard time thinking about Poku and saying, well, he'll be out of the league. No, with that, on-ball skills, no, just like even, I mean, like just to be, he will learn to shoot. I'm so confident on that. Now, well, everyone can forget about shooting, and Draymond Green, like, it's an example. He was a 34% shooter one season. Now they are giving him the Dort treatment. So the Dort treatment of the past, of course. So it happens, but I don't trust that. I mean, his shooting motion is so pure that I really think it's an issue of his body changing and the lack of strength. Because if you look at the way in which he takes those shots, I mean, every shot looked the same. So
yeah. he's such an easy player to like just immediately just like go to his ceiling in your brain, right?
Yeah.
He's this wing that can block shots like a center, but is definitely a wing, like moves like a wing. He can pass. He's figuring out the rhythms of an NBA defense. And now that he's figured out the rhythms of an NBA defense, he knows how and when to attack. You know, he puts on the brakes, and then he's able to get to his spot, and he keeps his dribble, and he's able to find guys. That pass out to Lou, and I tweeted about it last night. You can find it on my profile. How many guys in the league can do that? It's got to be less than 10. I mean, there's just that can see that can move that way. Certainly, if you're talking 6'11" and bigger guys, what is the list? Jokic. Like what? Who else? That's that big.
Jokic,
Can throw that pass.
Giannis can probably do that.
Yeah. Like is that the list? Is that it?
Anthony Davis, maybe in his good days when he wants to pass, he probably can do that.
Good. AD's good. I just don't. Yeah. Perhaps.
I mean, occasionally, if you say how many players do that every single night, then above 6'11" is just Giannis and Jokic. And Marc Gasol in his days. I mean, but those are the great.
That's the list.
Passers. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. It is such a huge skill for him. It is such a big one, and he's got it already.
Yeah,
it's already there. It's in the bag.
Exactly.
It's outrageous.
This is why I'm so excited. The passing. I'm doing a comparison that doesn't make any sense, but I'll do it anyway. It's Jimmer Fredette versus Trae Young. Like the shooting numbers, if you take the shooting numbers of Trae and Jimmer in their last year in college, pretty similar. The thing that differs is the court vision. That is something that changes the dynamic completely. Jimmer didn't have that, and also other stuff. But the fact that Trae was able to basically generate offense with his passing and by spacing the floor, Poku is able to shake a good defender right now and create. Now, take his season and suppose that instead of shooting 22%, he's at 38. Is he in the discussion for Rookie of the Year? Probably not because of the games, but take that number and put it 38% from three. Like, it's a remarkable season. And now he didn't
make
do
the
it.
All-Rookie team. I mean, he'd be on the All-Rookie team for sure.
Exactly. He didn't do it, which is important because right now we can't say that he's a good shooter, but he's able to do all the other things. Defensively, he is good. He's not bad. Yes, he's not physical enough to guard a 5, but he has good timing and he knows how to slide his feet to keep a guy in front. Like, those things are very important. Now, the ceiling ultimately will depend on his shooting. Because if you take Dirk Nowitzki and you take out the outrageous shooting of Dirk, he's not Dirk. He's a very useful guy in the league, but not Dirk. So the ceiling ultimately is that one. But it depends on the shooting. But the rest, like the fact that he sticks in the league, I think we have very good indication that if he wants to stay and if he wants to improve, which seems what he wants to do, then I think that games like the one against Toronto are the ones to look at.
Yeah. What if Poku's like a crafty dribbling Andre Karolinko?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's not... If that's his peak, if that's where he is at the peak of his powers, like the Thunder aren't counting on... At least I'm not counting on it. I'm not counting on Poku being the second best player on this team. You know, I believe it will be Shea and whoever they get in this or the next draft will be the two best players. And then if you just throw a crafty dribbling Andre Karolinko onto that team with those guys, okay, now you're really able to make an actual run, right?
The chat is going crazy, by the way.
I think of him because of the close to 5x5 stuff, right? Because that's stuff that Andre Karolinko did all the time, right?
Yeah.
He was constantly getting steals and blocks. He was a guy that could pass and get assists, and he was good on the boards, and he would just kind of fly around everywhere. Or like a Sean Marion even type of guy. Yeah. Like a bigger Sean Marion. I mean, those are the type of players that I think Poku could compare to, because those guys were more wings. They're 3-4s definitely, and that's what Poku is. And they just kind of do everything. They just kind of fill in the gaps of everything with their basketball IQ. And so I don't know. I'm highly intrigued to see what he could be, because I thought he was going to be more of a big, just because that's what he was when he was playing against children. But I think that as he gains strength, that he's going to be a guy that can be on the wing, and I think he could defend bigger wings too. And James Anderson says he's not as fluid staying in front of players, and I totally agree.
But he's do you remember Kirilenko at 80 years old?
Tell us.
I don't. I
don't know
but the
either.
point is, I saw Pokusevski being able to stay with elite wings on more than one occasion. Now, you have to do it consistently every single night in order to be a great defender. But the point is, he knows how to use his body to allow certain angles and not other ones. Now, again, the point that I'm trying to make is the ingredients are really there. Like, you could have your doubts in June or whenever the draft was, because it was this man of mystery. Then you see preseason and you see all the wild stuff. Now, if you look at how he's playing after the bubble, you can see reliable stuff. You could see his creation being way better than in the beginning, and the fact that he's able to play as a backside defender, that is extremely important. Now, yes, he's not Kirilenko today. Clearly, he played 30 games in the league, but he has the potential to be as fluid. He has the potential to, with his length, to be a disruptive defender. And I think he knows where to be defensively, which is extremely important. There are guys that it took like 3 or 4 years to be at the point where they understand NBA defense. Like this guy, like Lou Dort. Lou Dort last season, like after 20 games, he just completely got one-on-one defense in the NBA. That is insane. So I really think that there are, again, the last few games of Poku, like except for shooting, which is again extremely important, are very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. He is certainly, to me, he's an NBA talent, and he's the youngest guy in the league. And I think the year 1 to year 2 leap is something to really watch with him.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he has gotten better as the season has gone on, as the experiences have come, as he's learned to, like I said, play within the rhythm of an NBA defense on the offensive end is what I mean. Like he knows where he can find his gaps. And that paired with strength, that paired with the confidence of knowing I can play in the league, that paired with everything that the Thunder are throwing at him, it's really, really interesting to see what he becomes. And the sky is the limit for a guy that has the skill set that he does. It is completely outrageous. I did want to touch on something. I know that tanking is something that people are talking a lot about, and we had the Raptors getting fined recently, which then there's all these hilarious memes about the Thunder and like Sam Presti and like what Sam is thinking about it. But and you maybe you guys heard this on the press conference when they talked about Horford not playing anymore. But this is a coaching decision, and this is what Mark said. This is a coaching decision. This isn't a rest decision. So this is not like Kyle Lowry. They're not resting Al Horford. This is a DNP CD for the rest of the season. And this is what's happening. Okay. This is why the Thunder aren't being fined for this. Same thing. Michael Scala has injuries, but he's also going to be a DNP CD. They want to figure out what they've got in any of these young guys and see if any of them are worth hanging around. And so that's essentially what the deal is. And this is what Mark said after, and I just want to kind of remind people, this is what Mark said after they announced that Horford wouldn't be playing anymore. That's an agreement that they all came to.
Yeah. And I'm sure that next year there will be a rule for that as well, probably.
Perhaps.
But I mean,
But also, we just can't lose perspective of how weird this season is.
yeah, no. The second part of this the schedule is so crazy and
It's
meaningless for a guy like that to play and risk the fact that he could get another season of good playing time, and probably that could translate in another contract. So it's all good. I'm just saying that since the league has implement policies against rests, they will probably do something like that for next year. But again, I mean, smart teams find ways to
play within the rules.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if they are not breaking any rule, not to my knowledge at least, which is not big, I would say, the knowledge that I have on rules. But anyway, yeah. I'm not convinced. I was so happy to see Moses Brown being a productive player. Nothing to be seen there right now. And Dagnall is avoiding playing Roby as a center. I'm like last night, there was a moment where that lineup was on the court. I think it was Maledon, Dort, or Dort, Kenrich, Poku, Baisley, and Roby, which makes a lot of sense. And they played a grand total of 2 minutes, probably two and a half. I mean, I don't know. I don't see Bradley or Moses Brown being, maybe Moses just because you have him for cheap, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't love it either. That's why I think if you can get a big or two in this upcoming draft, then maybe just cut them loose.
Yeah,
because I don't see it either. Maybe definitely to me, I would. And Tony Bradley's shown some stuff. I just don't think the way that he moves on the court is like, he's just not a modern center. No. And Moses Brown has shown like a little bit of stuff, but man, scouting reports will do a lot for you, and it has taken Moses Brown out of the game. Yeah. And he has got to, if he wants to stick in the league, the book is out on Moses Brown. He's got to figure out a way to power through that if he wants to stick. Because like Alex, I mean, Alex pointed this out like, right whenever they signed Moses Brown to a contract, is like, his response is, did they?
Yeah, exactly. Because they give themselves a chance to sign, to have him under contract.
Yeah. So he could be gone as soon as this summer. That's a possibility. And just depending on what happens in the draft, do they trade 3 picks to get 1? Well, then he's probably staying around. Do they take all 3 guys and perhaps maybe take a 4th guy if they get another pick in a trade or something? Then okay, well, there's a possibility we don't see Moses Brown or Tony Bradley back here. So it's a fluid situation. I think I would guess that the Thunder still like Moses Brown to a degree. Obviously, they wouldn't have signed him to a contract if they didn't. But I just need to see what happens this summer before I say they need to definitely move on from him, because he's a guy that can fill a spot at the center position, and he can come in and have a game. And perhaps he's just a guy that's going to be better off the bench against bench bigs than he is against starting level big guys, which is okay. There's a place in the league for those guys.
Yeah, and also having a better pick and roll pattern will help as well, because
kidding,
that is something that OKC is lacking right now. Probably the best pick and roll passer is Pokusevski, which is like he cannot run a north-south pick and roll as of today. So it's something that he will learn for sure. I don't know about Tony Bradley. I mean, I don't see the value proposition in keeping a guy like that, because I mean, there are bigs. There are tons of bigs that can have the same impact.
Go try another one. Yeah,
exactly.
If another one's got something going on, there's no. Yeah, I don't really see it with either one of them. But also, there's a lot of things I don't see, and that's just the way that it's going to be. Let's go to the chat and see where everybody is from that's listening, and then we'll take a break and go to some listener questions. So we have Hermes in Greece. We have Lawrence Field in Boston. We have Nate Sanders saying, yo. We have Kyle Clark in Orlando. We have Paul Chi, my guy in Jamaica. Big shouts. We have Joshua in Portland. We have Del Lott in Midwest City. We have my guy Gonzalo in Argentina. We have Jeremiah from Batman Turkey. He's Phil in France. We have Miroslav in Germany. We have Paul in Brazil. We have Chamir in France. We have Penny, who I believe is in Tulsa. Happy birthday, Dort. Is today's Dort's birthday? Could it perhaps be Lou Dort's birthday? Oh, my word. I think that it might be. We have to know this.
Really?
I think so. I think that's certainly possible that we have
Let
a
me type.
Lou Dort's birthday. Let's see. Yes, today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Lou Dort!
How can we possibly it's bad podcasting, Andrew.
Word. How do we not know this? Thank you so much, Penny, just keeping us on our toes out here. Oh my word. That is great news.
Yeah.
It is great to know that it is his birthday. Holy moly.
So it's Dort Day. This is why the podcast has this Dort flavor. That is why.
Yeah.
We can say now that this is our gift to Dort.
That's right. Happy birthday, Lou Dort. Christos from Greece. We have Falk in Denmark. We have Wojciech in Poland. We have Privileged Infinite in Germany. The Fluky in Germany. We have W. Rose in Kentucky. We have, let's see, lots of AK-47 comments. Yeah, I think that's close to it. Thanks so much for joining. Hoops.
Well, we have Tyler Carroll on the stream. The very
yes,
Tyler Carroll 12. Yes,
awesome. Tyler, thanks for joining. Thanks for all your hard work on all of those charts too. Those are pretty awesome. Really good work there. I tried to retweet one of those this morning. I hope I did.
Yeah, you did.
Brett in New Zealand and Palomba in Italy. Shouts to everybody.
Yeah.
You know this person? You know Giancarlo?
No.
Okay.
No, but I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Thank you. I need your help. I need lots of help in my life. Chaz in Anchorage, Alaska. That's awesome. Talis in Brazil. Sorry if I've missed anybody. Hamza in the Bay Area. Big shouts to everybody who's joining in the stream. Be sure that if you want to shout out too, hop on the stream. And we'll be back right after this quick break. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh has a wide variety of easy, delicious options for all 3 meals a day, plus every snack and special treat in between. HelloFresh's fresh ingredients are sourced directly from growers and delivered from the farm to your front door in under a week, contact-free, of course. Now, listen, I have tried HelloFresh. I have cooked 2 meals. And listen, I don't cook any meals in my house, but they make it so easy. It's all pre-measured. They tell you exactly how to do it. They give you even the order that you should do things so that you can have it ready and hot and delicious right your table. I made meatloaf with potatoes, and it was outstanding. My family thought that I had turned into some gourmet chef, and I promise you, I am not. But it's that easy, and it's really, honestly, so delicious. I really think you should try it. Go to HelloFresh.com/Dunk12 and use the promo code Dunk12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. Unbelievable. 12 delicious meals for free. There's a reason why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. It's because they make it easy, delicious, and even someone like me can do it. Oh boy, I've been trying to cut down on carbs and sugar and unhealthy food, which is very difficult because I love cereal. I love eating cereal in the morning. I love eating it for an afternoon snack. I love eating it at night while I'm watching the Thunder or any other NBA team play. And I have found my solution. It's Magic Spoon. With 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. It only has 140 calories per serving. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. It's amazing that it tastes good because anything that's free of that many things usually doesn't. But I promise you, Magic Spoon actually tastes good. And with their 4 flavors, cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter, whoo boy, I will tell you, I just got the peanut butter and it is absolutely delightful. It's so very good. You can even mix it with the cocoa and it tastes like a peanut butter cup. Cannot recommend Magic Spoon enough. You can go to magicspoon.com/dunk and grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code DUNK at checkout to save $5 off your first order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Why would you not do it? There is literally no downside here. Remember, go get your delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/dunk and use the promo code DUNK to save $5 off. Thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this episode. And we're back after that quick break. We're going to go to some Twitter questions.
Twitter questions!
Our first question comes from at Pepsi United. If I'm not too late, how do you evaluate players' ceiling? Is Dort's ceiling being undervalued just because he went undrafted?
No, I don't think that is the case. I think that it has to do with the way in which he started off shooting, and the fact that a guy like that, we had in our time seeing him as a leader in terms of offense on his team. It takes time. Yes, probably status plays into it a bit. Of course, say that Dort is a top 5 pick and he produces like he's doing right now, people will be excited. But I mean, Jokic, after I would say 2 seasons, everyone was extremely excited about him, even if he was a big number, 55. And being undrafted today, it's also an agent's decision. Dort said that he would have been like he wanted to be drafted and blah blah blah, but still, I think that the ceiling of Dort is still is high, but not like high as the one that Shea or Pokusevski have today. To me, it's if we say absolute best scenario for Lou Dort, what's that? As a better offensively Marcus Smart, something like that. That is the absolute ceiling.
Perhaps.
What's the thing that can make him change gear? Like shooting like that, he has to be like a crazy good shooter in order for him to make the leap.
Certainly. Certainly.
I don't know.
Yeah. I do think that draft position does have something to do with how we talk about a player's ceiling the first few years, though. But that's also like why they get drafted where they are. And it's like, it's all about definable skills and then potential skills, right? And the shooting stuff has changed what everybody thought about Lou. If anybody thought in year 2 he could be shooting at the volume that he's at, around 35% from 3, he goes in the first round, and there's no question.
Lottery, like this is, to me, it's clear. He goes like between 10 and 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's probably the 14th pick.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
But because teams didn't think he could shoot, he falls and continues to fall, and then fell to a point where they just said, "Okay, we'd rather choose our destination." And and then that becomes a part of the evaluation. You just have no expectations. It's a lot about it. not even about ceilings, but it's about expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If you draft a guy in the top 10, you're going to have expectations for what they're going to be in the NBA, because there's been a lot of top 10 players that have helped teams become great. There aren't very many guys that went on drafts, or even guys that went in the second round. And you guys can probably name all of them, right? Like, we can name all of them in the second round. It's Jokic, it's Draymond Green, it's Chris Middleton. It's, you can name them because there are so few of them, right? Yeah. And Lou Dort is going to be added to the list of undrafted players in the history of the NBA that have come in and made an impact. And there were literally no expectations for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also the fact that you need to evaluate him over a longer period of time, not 80 games.
Right.
I mean, the fact that people talk about ceiling longer for like 5-star recruit, even Moses Brown is still talked as a 5-star recruit, which he was, because those data points have in those years are important. Now, I think that if he closes the season at this level or close to this, like averaging 20 points per game, then his draft spot will be completely meaningless in the upside talk.
Certainly.
But still, even if he averages 20, he is not extremely efficient as of today. What is the thing that makes you think or feel that the ceiling is different from a very high-level contributor, either in the starting unit or off the bench? That to me is not there yet. And it may be one of the skills that he had in college and now is kind of not used as much, which is his passing. Now, if Lou Dort can start nailing passes left and right, and when he dribbles, he has a better understanding of the floor, that is something that could change things like a lot. Because if you improve on the passing, the defense is already good to elite, depending on the type of prospect that is the type of player that is guarding. If the shooting is real, then we are discussing a player that has a different ceiling. But still, it's hard. I don't see path to be percent in the league, even with the passing. Maybe I'm blind, but I don't see that.
Yeah. I see a key piece on a team, but maybe your third or fourth piece on your team, which is very important and something that the Thunder nailed with Serge Ibaka.
Exactly.
And
Serge is a very good comp in terms of value for a team. As a sitting for Dort.
And a very important, very, very, very important to the Thunder becoming what they became. Did you see that video? I think Taylor sent it to us about Kevin talking about the top 5 players that he's ever played with.
I saw the message, but I didn't click.
We gotta go watch it. I don't know if you guys saw it. He was on some podcast. I don't even know what it was, but he was on, maybe it was The Zone. I have no idea. But anyways, I saw this. Taylor just sent us the video, and it was like a link to Twitter. And Kevin is talking about the top 5 players he's ever played with. And he's thinking on it. And he's like, Kyrie was the first one he said. James Harden was number 2. Then he said Steph Curry. And then he said Klay Thompson. And he's got one more. And like, it's obvious to the entire world that it should be Russell Westbrook. And then he says Serge Ibaka. And then the guys that are on with him like don't have the cachet to say, why are you not picking Russell Westbrook? They go like, oh, okay, I could see that. And then they say like, oh, but I was thinking about somebody else, maybe from Southern California, and they were just like not saying what they should have just been like, you didn't pick Russ? Like, what's going on? And then he finally realizes what they're saying because they're talking so strangely. It was such a weird show, but he was like, oh yeah, Russ. Yeah, Russ has got to be there, but
so
it's just so strange. But the fact that he included Serge is something. Like, Serge is definitely like in the top like 7-8 players that he's ever played with, probably, which is meaningful. And that, to me, that's the kind of level of player we're talking. And we had lots of, will Serge Ibaka ever make an all-star team conversations, right? And he never did, and he's not ever going to make an all-star team, but he's a highly impactful player even today. I mean, a lot of people think of Serge as like the swing player between the Clippers, getting to the finals and not in the offseason. Yeah. That's how highly people think of him, and still could be the case. All right, next question. This comes from at Nate Sand 5 or Nate's and 5. I don't know which. How can guys like Poku, Teo, and Dort reach their full potential in the coming years with potentially 2 top 5 picks and a few second-round picks coming in?
Well, we talked about Dort and Pokusevski at length. So I think that the concept here is that you don't know how many guys will come in, no matter how the picks will shape during the lottery. It could be a lot of, we have 3 picks, but we draft 1 player, like they did last season. They had a lot of picks. They consolidate them to draft Pokusevski. Now, clearly, if you get number 1 and number 5, you probably pick both. But if that is the case, I mean, are you really concerned about the ceiling of Theo Maledon? I mean, it's going to be great to have him and to reach his full potential. But I mean, yeah, if the question is, are there minutes to develop 6 guys with probably 4 guards, then the answer is likely not.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, injuries are there. You may play 3 guard lineups all the time, and so you have the minutes. I mean, if you take into consideration the number of players that OKC is currently playing at guard, Dort, Shea, Maledon, Ty Jerome, Svi Mihailuk, Kenrich Williams sometimes plays as a guard. I mean, there is room for a guy like Maledon if his value, his talent is enough to keep him on the court. And he's having a hard time right now. And in order for him to reach a ceiling, he has to have at least above average 3-point shooting, because he's not dynamic enough to create out of pick and roll, especially when he's not super aggressive, which happens like a lot of times, which is something that I don't like. For the others, I mean, I think it will be like on the next Thunder guys, the next draft picks, to take their spots and not the opposite direction. Like, you need to, if you are a guard, if Jalen Suggs is the pick or Jalen Green, I am confident that they have to take Dort's spot. They have to. Otherwise, he's the guy that plays. It will be hard. I mean, he has shown a lot. And so with Poku, it's different. I mean, Poku basically, if they have someone like Cade or even Mobley, probably there will be some adjustments. But Dort, I mean, if you are good, you have to take his spot. And it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is that minutes are being handed to guys today. And that's part of this process here, is to try to figure out who they are. But once you get good players on your team, you have to earn the minutes, which is not a bad position to be in.
Exactly.
Theo Maledon, yes, he is a guy that's being handed the starting point guard spot, and that's because of the circumstances that the Thunder are in. And in the future, he's going to have to earn minutes in order to get on the court, which is not a bad thing. So right now, they're trying to see what they've got. They're increasing Dort's usage. They're increasing everybody's usage that's on the court, trying to see what we've got. And then once you get players in place, you've got to play well in order to get your minutes. And guys have had to do that throughout the history of the Thunder. I mean, Reggie Jackson had to earn those minutes, and he did. And he got a lot better because he had guys pushing him. So
did James Harden. James Harden was not handed a spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he earned it. He was very good. Let's do one more. Let's go to. This is an interesting question. I don't think we've gotten lots of questions about the guys. I feel like we've talked a lot about a lot of the stuff that's being asked already. So huge thanks. We get a lot of questions like, would you rather have the first pick or 2 and 5 or anything like that?
So if there is no way you can prefer anything compared to the first round pick. Nothing.
Yeah, the first pick overall. Yeah.
Exactly. The point is, if you go back and think about the Markelle Fultz, Jason Tatum, Lonzo Ball draft, it's not that Boston gave up the first round pick because they were sure about the other two and they got an extra asset, but they were convinced to take Jason Tatum. So the first round pick is the most valuable thing that you can have. Now, if close to the lottery or close to the draft, not the lottery, close to the draft, you are sure you have the number one pick and you are 100% sure that Cade is not your guy, that Jalen Suggs is, and you know that there is a team with number 3, I don't know, the Wolves, that really want Cade, and they would never take Jalen Suggs or even Mobley, then you do that. But the number one pick is what you want, period. Any other combination, don't care.
Yeah.
Even if it's 2 pick, the fact that you get 3 and 5, worse than 1 to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you think Cade can be a game-changing player, you take him. And the alternative may not be a bad one. I mean, you go to like the best drafts of all time, and you say, would you rather have LeBron James or Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh? You know, the answer's still LeBron James, even though the alternative is very good, right?
Melo and Wade.
Melo and Wade. Would you rather have Melo and Wade or LeBron James? I'm sorry. Give me LeBron.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade won championships, and that's great. But has anybody ever tried to argue that Dwayne Wade is like the best player of all time? Like, no. Sorry.
No,
give me the shot at a guy that could possibly be, and no one's really saying this about Cade, but like, I don't know, no one was saying that Luka had a chance to be one of the best players ever at the draft. They're saying it now. We'll see. We'll see what Cade can be. But if whoever the guy is, maybe their guy isn't Cade. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. But if they're going to take who they want to take, and you want to get your guy. That's what the number one pick is all about, is getting your guy and not having to hope that somebody else messes up. I mean, the Dallas Mavericks, for everything to go exactly the way that it went, so many things had to fall right for them.
Yeah.
So many things. It was not a guarantee that they were going to get Luka. But yes, I agree. Yes. The answer is always the number one pick. Always.
Yeah. Exactly.
Every single time. Let's see. At Sports Are Epic asked, and this will be our last question. Sorry we didn't get to too many of these. Maybe Michele and I can hop on and answer these on Twitter later on. Should OKC be concerned at all that they just lost to Detroit and Toronto's B teams? Really, Toronto's C team. Toronto's playing so many guys that have non-guaranteed deals for next year that are probably not going to be in the NBA next year. He says, we're tanking and missing Shea, but all the other guys who are supposed to be part of our core just lost to 2 of the least talented teams that'll be on the NBA court this season. I'll say this. The guys they were playing against are not the core. Like the core of the team is Shea and the 2021 draft picks and the 2022 draft picks. That's who the core is. Everybody else is either a fringe player, some of these fringe NBA player, some of these guys fringe Thunder players, some of them Thunder role players. So we have 0 parts of the core. Could Poku become a part of the core? Certainly. Is that the way that it should be viewed today? No. Same thing with Lou Dort. Could Lou Dort be a part of the core? We're talking about like the best 3 players on the team. Could he be that? Perhaps. is the plan, or should the plan be to make him the core? No. I love Lou Dort. Happy birthday, Lou Dort. I'm so happy you're on the team. But if you want what Sam Presti wrote that he wants, and that's extraordinary success, you have to have players that are better. And if he's your Serge Ibaka, you need to go find your other two guys. Because it'd be great. Because right now, you have to have like 3 guys to go win the title, right? Or like the Lakers have 2 top 5 guys. You have to have 2 top 5 guys? Who's the other favorite? It's the Nets. They've got everybody. You think you're going to go compete with Shea, Lou, and Poku? I love all of them. They're fantastic players. They're fantastic characters.
Yeah, but
that's not the core. It's not your core. It just cannot be. If that's your core, then perhaps you have a chance to be a really fun team, like a really intriguing, fun, wacky team. Great. But you're not going to have extraordinary success.
Yeah. Yeah, and also look for I understand this, and I often think about it as well. Like, shouldn't this be a team where you kind of win, like against nobody? But on one hand, I think that, and what you said, Andrew, is I agree completely. Those are players that are not there yet. I mean, and we discussed Pokusevski already. I mean, if Poku has a normal game shooting wise, this game is a W, easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially early when OKC was basically demolishing everyone because they were playing so well at the beginning of the game, and they were creating good shots. They were hitting with a probably unsustainable percentage, as you mentioned. But still, they were playing great. And I don't know. Some of the lineups that they are playing are just dysfunctional.
Yeah.
The Maledon plus Moses Brown pairing does not work either on offense nor on defense.
No.
The fact that you play sometimes Roby and Moses Brown or Bradley plus another between Baisley and Poku doesn't really work as well due to spacing and stuff like that. Yeah. So there are a lot of things, including Boucher just going nuts and hitting a shot, because that is basically the actual result. I mean, if Boucher misses the shot, then probably it's a coin flip. So yeah, it's not great to lose against a lesser team, but it happens. And OKC is going through a very harsh schedule. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. It's just no need to be worried about the fact that they lost against Toronto. That is the goal. I mean, probably the players know that as well. I know that nobody plays to lose, but
yeah,
I mean, it's something you can't help it. I mean, they know what is at stakes, and now
they're on the internet. Believe it or not, these players are on the internet. They see what's going on. They see what the fan base says. They see a lot of it. People are adding them all the time on Twitter. You think they don't see it? Like, give me a break. Of course they see it.
So, and it's not great. I mean, if you have multiple seasons like this, I believe that this is harmful for your team eventually, because like being able to win, and this is why it's important what Dagnall said at the end of the game. We were not ready to play those 4 minutes. I'm paraphrasing. This is not the exact wording, but the fact is they were not ready to play those 4 minutes. And they should have been. And it's important that they learn how to be. But again, don't sweat on that as of today. It's I wouldn't. Teams have bad moments. And
don't sweat it. Celebrate it, baby. This is a celebration going on in my house last night. It was great. I had a great time. It was lovely. And I hope it happens again tonight with the Thunder against the Wizards tonight in Washington. Tip at 7:00 Central Time. Then the Thunder travel to Indiana to play Domas and the Indiana Pacers. Oh, Domas and Moses Brown. Oh, poor Moses Brown's about to get eaten alive by Domas. Shout out, Moses. Take cover. And then the Thunder are back in OKC. They only have 2 more home games, by the way, in the month of April. So far, the Thunder have lost every game in April. which is pretty wild. And they have a chance to lose out the rest of the month, which they won't do it. They're not going to. I predict they'll win tonight. They play.
No, you didn't. No, you did not. Don't try.
So Wizards, Pacers, Wizards, and then you have like the gauntlet of Philly, Boston back to back, which is really tough. And then you play at home. And then you play at home against the Pelicans next Friday or next Thursday night. So that's a really tough end of the month for this team, especially being on the road so much. And then the season ends so weird. They play Indiana again for the second time Saturday, May 1st. And then it's Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State, Sacramento, which is just like, it's too much. And then they end with Utah and the Clippers at home. So wild stuff. Mark Stein tweeted about this today, but no fans in the stands for OKC this season. And that was, hey, it's done. They only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more home games anyway. So
yeah,
that's it. So season will be over soon. We'll have the draft lottery to look forward to. We'll have the draft itself to look forward to as McKelly and I will start gearing up for that. Make sure that you're subscribed to Thunder After Dark because we are going to start going through player by player in this draft, watching film, doing many little podcast episodes on each player. And we'll have those just thrown out there to you guys. We'll try to probably do 1 or 2 a week here starting pretty quick. So be sure you're subscribed to that. We'll give you little nuggets here, but we won't give you the full in-depth analysis here. So be sure you're subscribed to that. Also for the game analysis as well, which has been fun. Also, if you're on the Locker Room app, that's another way that we can connect. We did that last night. John and I did for Thunder After Dark, and we took live listener questions, which was super fun. So
yeah, it was.
If you're not on that app, go check it out. We'll do them here and there. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Go Wizards, and we'll talk to you guys again on Wednesday.